What's up, family? It's your girl, Samantha Lee. Welcome to the channel. Y'all, I'm going to say this in advance. I cannot find my microphone. So I don't know what I'm going to do. There's like a sound. We're going to pray and rebuke the sound in advance because I do not want the microphone situation. I cannot find the microphone. I cannot find my microphones. So we gonna go with it. Okay. Like and there's nothing I can do about it. I literally am a little bit behind because I cannot find the microphone. I thought I had it. I do not know where. Anyway, guys, welcome to tonight's show. If you guys don't know by now, my name is Samantha Lee. I'm actually going to turn off the Wi-Fi on my phone to make sure that you guys can, this goes well. But welcome to tonight's episode. I've spoken a lot about this situation, but before I get into what we're going to talk about today, I want to welcome you guys. I'm going to try to do my TikTok. Okay, I'm going to try to do TikTok. We're gonna see that's gonna work today. We do the TikTok and the other. So I just did something. Here we go. Okay, that works. TikTok works. Okay. All right, so I'm on this. Oh, y'all. Unfortunately, with TikTok, I don't be trying to. I'm trying to like sit a certain way. So, okay, well. Anyway, guys, welcome to tonight's show. Y'all know I don't be trying to show my lower half of my body because people don't know how to act. It is what it is. Okay. So anyway, guys, welcome to tonight's show. If you guys don't know by now, my name is Samantha Lee. And tonight's show is really about, like I said, 5 reasons why men are not committing. So again, I'm saying this. I'm sorry, TikTok. I know that this is like awkward putting the things. I'm wearing my sweatpants. Oh, Lord Jesus. I'm really trying to be not like that. And I be trying, y'all. I really be trying to be, it is what it is. We're here. So welcome to tonight's show. My name is Samantha Lee, and I am talking about the 5 reasons why men are not committing to women today, and it's not what you think. Some of you guys may be saying, Sam, why are you going so hard about this issue? Why are we talking about this? I know a lot of people are like, this is maybe surprising to you, may not be something that you're accustomed to, but I'm doing this because last couple weeks, I've gone in on men. I have said what I felt about men, about lacking sexual discipline, about committing, about doing the right thing, about going about it the right way. I've been doing that. I've always said to you on my platform, I'm not going to go like one way and not go the other. I'm not going to speak so much about men and not speak enough about women. I'm going to go at both. And I understand some people might feel like, okay, Sam, you're going really hard at women. Well, because I am a woman. All right. It's only so hard I'm going to go at men because I'm not a man. I can't tell a man how to be a man. I can't coach a man into, I can say what I think men should do. And I can advocate that men should be this way or men should be more like this or whatever. I can do that. I can suggest it. I can tell you what I'm attracted to, but I cannot tell you how to be a man. I am not a man to tell a man how to be a man. All right. And so I really do try my very best when I'm speaking about content and when I'm doing certain things. I really, really try to like think about both sides. I'm not trying to be one side, all men. And that's all I talk about is how men should do. And no, it's going to be both sides because both sides of the quarter, if I'm only focusing on one, half the problem is addressed. And part of the issue is one feeds the other. Like when we talk about relationships and marriage, and I know I've been going hard about marriage. I know I've been talking about that a lot. And that's because I really do like, I feel like God in this season has really been speaking to me about men, about marriage, about women, about marriage, about how we should be conducting ourselves and that our society is not creating marriages. It's creating separation, division, discord. And I think it's a trick of the enemy. And my goal with my platform is to follow God and unapologetically speak what he's speaking to me. Even if it's not popular, even if it's what people say, oh, you're this, oh, you're that. I don't care. I mean, God gave me this platform. God gave me this platform. People did not give me this platform. Right? And so I'm not going to be so consumed about whether or not, you know, you like me, you don't like what I'm saying, you do. I don't care. Honestly, just being honest, I don't care, because I've been in situations where people have tried to cancel me and I didn't do anything. So now it's kind of like, I mean, if you don't like it, okay, I understand, but I'm gonna do what God has called me to do. And I'm gonna be the woman God has called me to be, and I'm gonna use my platform accordingly. You may like it, love it, hate it, I don't care. Sorry. I've just gotten to that place, family. I've just gotten to that place because, again, people are so afraid of being canceled, so afraid of telling the truth. And like, what we got these platforms for? So we can placate, pander, say what people want to say, want to hear? No, that's not why God gave me a platform. God did not give me a platform so I could sit here and just tickle your ears with what you want to hear. No. So yes, I'm gonna go at men, and I'm gonna say what I feel about men, because I feel like men are the head. I do feel like last week I talked about how I felt like the enemy is attacking men. Why? Men have dominion. Men are the head. I feel that very strongly. I think that there's an attack on men. I think the enemies use lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, the pride of life to keep men in broken places. I really do. And I think there's a lie that, oh, it doesn't matter if men are sexual or if they lay down with a bunch of different spirits. I'm here to dispel that lie. It does matter. Your body matters. Who you lay down with matters. And you should be discerning about who you allow to have access to your body. And a lot of men are advocating for a loose sexual life. And I think that that is a trick of the enemy. That is wrong. Men should be discerning. Your body matters too. You shouldn't be laying down with a bunch of spirits. You see what happens. Now you have this uncontrollable lust that you don't know what to do with. And now you done found your rib. You done found the woman you want to have a legacy with, build a family with, and you can't even be faithful because you don't know what that's like. You got a bunch of spirits attacking you. And now I've met men that have completely ruined, sabotage relationships because they do not know how to be faithful. They've never been faithful. Now, let me tell you something, family. Sexual discipline, self-control starts now. We don't go to the NBA and then learn how to play basketball, right? We don't go to the NFL and then we learn how to throw a football. We learn the plays, we scrimmage, we learn all the things that we need to learn in the gym. We practice in the gym. We don't practice on game day. And a lot of men are practicing on game day. Baby, it counts. Baby, at this point, it counts. You can't walk down the aisle to me and say, I do, and now you're gonna be faithful. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm gonna be faithful. You know, I like you. I want to marry you. I want you to have my kids. I want to wake up to you every morning. That's cool. But if I have not learned what it takes to say no now, when the ante is not upped, when it doesn't count, if I don't know how to say no now, how am I say no then? Right? So that's something that we have to understand, family. This is where we learn how to become, how to have that discipline, how to have that self-control. Oh, someone said Jesus run 8658 said, they said, Samantha, I noticed your attention to modesty within your own life. I answer you in many ways. I'm proud of you. Mine is who you are. Be pure. I am he, your bride. Oh, thank you. Well, I appreciate you saying that. I have been really trying, y'all. I've really been trying to be modest and cover up, and because I've said this before, y'all think I'm playing, but I'm very, very serious. I think my husband's watching, and so I want him to know, wifey is covering it up. The body has to be bodying for him. I'm serious. I've been saying, like, I'm like, look, gotta keep it looking good. Like, I'm covering it up. I'm wearing sweats. I'm doing everything I know to do to cover this body up, baby. I gotta keep it closed, keep it covered, okay? So that for him, it's for him, baby. It's for him. It's a new thought process, okay? God has downloaded some new things. He said, don't post the selfies, don't do this, don't do that. I'm like, okay, God, okay. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna cover it up for my man. I don't know him, but I'm just gonna cover it up for him in advance. Tell God you're welcome, because he's the one who did it. He's the one who told me to cover it up. He said, your man don't play that. Your father God don't play that, and your husband don't play that. And I said, okay, well, I like a possessive man. I like it. So anyway, thank you guys. Thank you for saying that. So back to what I'm saying. Let's get back into it. He watches his father tells him. Wait. He watches when his father tells him. Okay, hold on. Sorry, y'all, the comment. He watches when his father tells him, your husband is the king, my father's son. Okay. I get that. So anyway, y'all, back to what I'm saying. So today's episode is about 5 reasons why men are not committing to women today, and it's not what you think. I've shared a couple things. I've shared a couple of reels this week. And again, women, ladies, I'm not saying this because I'm trying to, I'm not saying it because of that. I'm actually saying it from a place of I've been there, done that, wrote a book about it. A couple months ago, if you met me, if you know anything about my platform from the beginning of this year, literally, did influencing. I was doing selfie videos and, doing because I had a partnership with somebody that does hair in the Atlanta area. I was doing fitness and peptides and doing for my fitness program and, was advocating for that. And then I also had, I was taking peptides. I was advocating. I had a partnership with that. There was partnerships, literally money I gave away because I was trying to follow God. That's a conviction I had, was to do things a different way. And so I did. I went about it a different way. And I said I didn't want to go about it the same way anymore. And so I really have gone in a different direction. I did feel like, there's certain things I shouldn't post. There's certain things I shouldn't do. So I'm not coming from a place of trying to condemn anyone, because I've been there, done that, wrote a book about it. I mean, I'm not saying fitness is wrong, because as you know, I'm very big of fitness advocate. I work out 6 days a week. I'm nursing a hamstring injury now because I do too much. But again, I've noticed a lot of deception. I know how I have been deceived, and I'm utilizing my platform to do a better job of learning the lessons and teaching them. Because I don't think we learn lessons, just like I don't think we're blessed just for ourselves. I also think that we learn lessons, not to just learn them, but to teach others. I think that that's our charge. And so that's what I'm doing. So this is not me saying, well, you're wrong and I'm right. I'm saying this from a place of I've been wrong. I've been very, very wrong. And God has corrected me. And in that correction, I want to influence a generation to do things differently than me. Because if I'm being honest with you, I don't want you to do it my way. I don't want you to learn the lessons the way I learned them. I learned these lessons very painfully. I've had to suffer some consequences along my journey because of things that I've chosen to do. And so if I can influence anybody to do things differently, I will. And that's why I'm doing this. It's not to condemn. It's to learn the lessons I've learned and to teach them, because that's the charge that God has put on my life. And so that is why I'm doing this. It's not to condemn. It is to expose. It is to bring truth in a world that panders and speaks to itching ears. And I think it's irresponsible. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Okay. So with that being said, 5 reasons why men aren't committing to women today. I'm going to start with number 1. Again, this is not to condemn anybody, but this is just the truth. Number 1, the reason why men aren't committing is because, first of all, look at how we're representing ourselves. I mean, representing ourselves I could do 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D. I can literally do that. Because when we see how we're representing ourselves, there's so many ways I can go about this, but the number 1 way that I see it is very much career driven. And career driven is not a negative thing. I am a woman that I got my advanced degree. I have a master's. I have a licensure. I work. I obviously, that I work. I have a active social media platform. Outside of social media platform, I'm a clinician by trade. I am a consultant for a nonprofit. I'm a full-time mommy. I'm also somebody's mama, right? So I have a lot of different hats that I wear. But when I was going to school, one of my primary things I wanted to do, I've told this story before, was that I wanted to get my LCSW. That was like my number 1 thing. And so because of that, I really didn't want to, I wasn't interested in getting married. I wasn't interested in, being a mom at that age. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't interested in that. I was really interested in going to school, get my degree, go get my career, and everything else will fall into place after that. I did not desire to be more than a career woman. I was raised, my mother was like, get your career, get your degree, get your career, get your degree. Because a lot of us, if you were raised like me, a lot of us were taught from our family that we need to go get our career, go get that degree, go get these things. And it's not a negative thing. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to have a career and to pursue things. But I think that it became more about like, oh, I don't want to be, what do I say? I don't want to be in a situation where if something was to go left in any relationship, you're taught that, oh, these men are faulty, so go get your career, because if something was to happen, you have something to fall back on. You have your out, you have your career. And so it almost made it so like, okay, last generation, maybe the marriages didn't work. Maybe the relationships, they didn't have the opportunities that we do now. They were not afforded the opportunities career-wise. And so the push was get a career. And I know I'm not the only one. Ladies, talk to me in the chat. Your mom was like, nah, get your career, get your coins, so that you're never so dependent on a man that you deal with broken behavior because you have to survive. Right? I'm seeing some hearts in the chat. It's real. What it has done on the other side, it has basically said, well, forget a man because men are faulty. Go get your career. Go get this. And so now I feel like overcorrected in the sense. I don't think it's wrong, ladies, to get your career. I don't think it's wrong for you to pursue, your degrees. I like I've said in past lives, I think that men love a woman. I haven't met a man. Can I be honest? I feel like because I have a master's, because I have a career, because they can see what I got going on outside of, whether they're attracted to me or not, that makes them, they put you in a more wifey category, to be honest with you. When you have a degree, I'm not gonna lie. Like when you have a degree and a career, it's like, okay, she got something going on. So I don't think it's a bad thing, right? I'm not saying that it's wrong. My problem with a lot of what we've seen, or a lot of what has happened, is overcorrecting to where forget a man completely. I'm just going to focus on my career. And so that's what the rhetoric has been. Forget a man. A man's not important. Forget this man. Forget this man. Forget this man. My money. I'm this. I'm that. 6 figures. And now we're doing all this. And now we are shaming men for not making as much of us, because we've now become obsessed with this. And so we're like, oh, well, if you're making less than me, then you're not. Oh, well, if you're not doing this, and now we've now started shaming men and saying we don't need men because they don't financially. We're only looking for that aspect of things. Do you make more than me? When family, we forget the biggest thing. Marriage wasn't about just money and security. Family was about legacy, baby. And that's what we're forgetting about. God didn't look at Adam and say, hey, you need Eve because you need a second earner in the household. No, he said, it was not good for man to be alone. And so what has happened is it was not our purpose to come on this planet, get a degree, and out earn men. That is not what we were here to do. We were here, Genesis, because of the fact God looked at man. It is not good for man to be alone. Let me create for him a helpmate. And they made it from his rib. Okay. So when the problem with a lot of ladies and a lot of what we see in today's society is it's out of order. And if we're being real, because I'm being honest with you, when you get into your career, I'm in my career now, right? I'm doing what I went to school to do. You do desire companionship. You were created for it. And what we do is we try to fill ourselves up with career. And we think that that's going to fulfill us. It doesn't. Just like with men, the opposite is true. Career will not fulfill you. You might be very successful career-wise. I have not met one successful man that doesn't desire a companion, a quality one, though. Some of them settle. Some of them settle with women that were there with them before they got the fame or they got the money. And that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But men, can I be honest with you? Your desires for what you want change. Let me throw this out, y'all. I gotta say this. Because I gotta say this. Your desires change. When you, as a man, when you 20, when you 19 and you in college, there's only a few women that you might have met this girl in college and she might have been that girl. She might have been that girl in college to you. Like you would have gave up the game for her. All right. Let's say in 5 years from there, you're 27 years old, 28 years old, your desires are going to change. Why? Why do you think your desires are going to change? Your desires are going to change because the price went up. The price went up. What does that mean? You have now earned more, so you are able to access different kind of women, and your desires change. So the women that was attractive when you was 19, yeah, it's great that she was down for you or whatever, but now you 28 or now you're 30 and you have different vision. Now you like, oh, you know what? I can kind of get that one. I always wanted that one. If I was going to get married, I would have married that. Because that right there is giving me something I want to go home to that. I want to wake up to that. I want to have kids with that. That is more of what I want. So we understand that when men, you do change. Things change over time. What was attractive at 19 changes when you're 30. Right? And so I do caution men at times, like, to not, not saying don't settle, but don't settle, because I do feel like men settle. I really do feel that way. I feel like a lot of men settle. They settle with somebody that they feel like they can trust is not ultimately what you desire. And then you end up feeling unfulfilled in a marriage. And that woman, and you stay in it because you don't want to be not married. but it's not ultimately who you would have wanted to be with if you could reshuffle the deck and be where you are today, choosing, right? So men, I caution y'all about that. See, I'm seeing facts, true, all the things. Women absolutely settle too. We're going to get there. We're not there yet. That's why I do think it should be a God-led process, not a you-led process, because God knows who you'll be in 20 years from now. So he knows what's going to be attractive now, tomorrow, in 5 years from now, 10 years from now. That's why you have to let God lead you. He knows who you're going to be. So when you choose from your own wisdom today, you're actually choosing from a broken sister, a broken system. Okay. So anyway, back to my point. Women in our career mindset, we have been taught or we have been conditioned to think now career. So that when we're actually in a marriage, we feel like we're not receiving, we're not in our purpose. We're not in our calling. It's less than. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Your purpose when you were created by God was to be a helpmate. Your purpose was to replenish the earth. So when there's women that worked back then, didn't have a child, and they felt unfulfilled. Why? Because they understood their purpose, their role. In today's society, it's so backwards. We think that we don't have our, we're like, oh, we got the man and we got the kids, but we don't have the career. That wasn't what we were created to do. We were created to be a helpmate. So if you are blessed enough to have a man that you don't need to work like that for, thank the Lord for that. But no, we got women complaining about that. And that's because we have been taught that if we don't have a career, and I will tell you this, family, there is women that will make you feel bad about not working while you're with your man. I remember when I was married, when, I wanted my career. Right? I still desire my career. I still feel like God has put me on this planet to do what I'm doing. However, I know things will have to change. God's already spoken to me about that when I get married again. But anyway, whole point is this. When I was not, and I was focusing on my family, there was women that would shame me because I wasn't working. Like, because I was only a mom. I was only a wife. And so that's why this is important, because you'll see women talk about, oh, I wanted the career, this, that, and the third, because there are women and there are people that will make you feel bad about the fact that you are not working a career. I'm sorry, family. That is why we have a problem. That is the number one issue, is how we're presenting this thing. We're presenting this thing like our purpose on this planet is to work. No, it's to achieve purpose. And your purpose may not be somebody else's purpose. But the number one thing God has called us to do is to be a helpmate. Not to be a career woman. Not to be clocking in and out of a job every day. That's not what God created us to do. That's not what he said in Genesis. That's what we've had to do because we've had to survive because of the fall of man. So number one reason is that because of what society is teaching us, how it is being presented to us, we feel like if we're not in our career, we're less than, or we're just like mooching off of the population because we're not in our career. And so now you're feeling less than and like you're not doing enough because you're comparing yourself to other women that are working and hustling and grinding and doing all these things. And you feel like you're missing out, or you feel like you're not doing enough, when in all actuality, when you are somebody's helpmate and your husband is doing big things, you're doing your work. But when we don't understand purpose, we now become more of a burden than a blessing. Because now I don't feel fulfilled as your wife. I don't feel fulfilled as the mother of your kids. So now I'm making you feel bad because I'm not working in my purpose, when in all actuality, I'm in my purpose. But the way that it's being presented is that if I'm not working, or if I'm not hustling, if I'm not in my career, I'm less than because I'm not a career woman. Sorry, baby, that's not the truth. The truth of the matter is we have to understand our role. Our role was not to be in our career. That doesn't mean you don't work, but that means was not your first priority. Your first priority was to be a helpmate. And that's what we don't understand. That's where we're getting it messed up. We're over here competing with our husbands because can I keep it real? We're being taught to be husbands and not wives. We're being taught to be husbands and not wives. We got to grind it out. We got to figure it out. We got to provide. Now you in competition with the man you're supposed to be helping. I'm supposed to be propping Blue Pillow up. I'm supposed to be giving Blue Pillow everything Blue Pillow needs to be the best Blue Pillow in the world. Blue Pillow is supposed to fly. Blue Pillow is supposed to be on another level, right? And I'm over here mad because Blue Pillow shining. And so I'm like, Blue Pillow, get behind me. You get in the way of my shine. No, I'm supposed to be so Blue Pillow. But this part of my problem, family, is that this is number two. Okay, so number one, I said how we're presenting being a wife, how we're presenting being a wife versus a career woman. Society is pushing boss babe. Sarai's not pushing helpmate. I'm not talking about trad wife. I'm talking about helpmate. I'm so tired of seeing trad wife. It's getting on my nerves. Helpmate. What does that mean? Helpmate. That means whatever it takes to make this household run. And so if that means I got to work, then I got to work. If that means if it's got to be 50-50, then it's 50-50. Helpmate is I do what I need to do to make this household what it is. Helpmate. Not trad wife, not this, that. Helpmate. Okay? Different concept, family. Different concept. Helpmate, not trad wife. Helpmate versus boss babe. Helpmate means I'm a partner in this thing with you. Do you need me to do this? Do you need me to do that? Do you not need me to do that? What do you need me to do? If it means that our family needs 2 incomes, then that's what we do. If it means that we need to be in a situation where I'm at home and I'm taking care of the household because that's what's the best thing for our family, that's what we need to do. Helpmate, not trad wife, not this, that, not not ooh. It's helpmate versus boss babe. I'm sorry, family. In this last year of time, okay. Sorry, y'all. Somebody said something, and I'm gonna go ahead and look that up for you. Since you haven't found that verse, I'll find that for you, baby girl. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Sam got you. And you can really, in Genesis 2:18, it says this. Genesis 2:18, go ahead. Genesis 2:18, because somebody has said on the, I'm sorry, y'all. Somebody has said on one of our chats, I'm not going to out nobody out, I have not found the helpmate scripture yet. This is part of the problem, family. Ladies, I'm sorry. You may not like what I'm saying, and that's perfectly fine. But we were created to be a helpmate. I know that's not what you want to hear. But let's get into it. Genesis 2:18. It says this. It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make him a helper suitable for him. Let's move further. Genesis 2:18. Let's go to Genesis 2:18 through 20. Okay. Genesis 2:18 through 20. Just so we're clear. And again, ladies, understand this. I'm not coming from I know better or God has been downloading this to me. So here we go. So 2:18 says, then the Lord God said, it is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him. God formed the animals and brought them to Adam to name, but no suitable helper was to be found. Adam named the woman, stating that she was the bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, because she was taken out of man. The meaning of helper in Hebrew implies a partner who is a source of strength, balance, and support, not subordinate. Okay. The word ezer, which I'm not saying it right, it's the Hebrew word, which is what women were created to be. It is a source of strength, balance, and support. Source of strength, balance, and support. Source of strength, balance, and support. That is what the verse says. Now, I don't create the rules and I don't create the Bible. I'm just reading it just like you. But it is made it very clear that we are to be a support, balance, and stability. That is what God. Somebody said here, sis, God totally spoke to me in 2022. I had to be obedient and allow my husband to provide. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, lady, for sharing. Exactly. I'm not trying to mess it up. When we start to understand our position, family, we attract the husband, right? I'm not going to attract the husband being this. Yeah, I'll attract men, but am I going to attract my husband? No, I'm not going to attract my husband being boss babe Sam. No, I'm going to attract my husband being getting in the right alignment with God for the man he's preparing me for. Because if he is a man of God, which is what we're preparing for, then that man of God is going to be in alignment. That man of God is going to be somebody who understands, okay, well, if she's a helpmate, I'm a cover. Like, I understand what she's here to do. I know this 5'5" woman is here. She's 5'5". I mean, I'm not big. This 5'5" woman. She's ready to be a helpmate. Okay, my daughter's ready to be a helpmate. Let me send her cover. Because now I need a man to be a covering for her, right? But only when I get in position and I'm willing to do it God's way and understand what God is doing, I can bring the man of God. Some of y'all want God to bring the man of God, but you're not the woman of God that he will bring a man of God to. And we're being real. If you're looking at society and you're trying to emulate what you see, you're not a woman of God, and you're not going to attract the man that you desire. You're going to attract counterfeits, period. And then we can continue to create content being like, oh, these men ain't this and they ain't that. Okay, well, what are you? Have you decided to submit to process? No, you haven't. Helpmate, helper. And family, I have had to learn in this time, God has downloaded to me the beauty of being a helper. Not I'm going to go and make my man look bad or our family look bad. I've learned that it is a beautiful thing to help my man be whoever he's supposed to be. If that means that helper means I run a business for him because my mind is sharp. Okay, cool. If that means I run a household, whatever. If this man want to have kids, I have children. We creating legacy. We're not here to build our career and then die. And then what? Guess what outlives us? Our children, the legacy that we leave behind. And some of us, we're not mindful of that. So yes, number one, how we are representing ourselves. We're representing ourselves like we want to be boss babes. Not helper, not helpmate, boss babes. There can't be two bosses in the household. I mean, there can be, but there's got to be order. There's got to be order. There's got to be divine order. And that's what I don't see. Number two, I don't think that our society is advocating for that, right? So what we're advocating for, or what we're teaching women to be, is this soft lie. I call it soft lie, not soft life. I look pretty. I look pretty. And so a man should just come and take care of me. And I don't provide balance, and I'm not stable. I just look pretty. Just put me in your house somewhere and prop me up on some family. Ladies, can I be real? That's a real easy way to get replaced. Pretty is replaceable, mama. Pretty is very replaceable. If all you got to hold on to is you pretty, that is very easy to find. I'm sorry. Proverbs 31 woman, not easy to find, rare. A lot of us are focusing on our bodies, buying body parts, buying faces, buying this, wearing 37 pounds of makeup, doing this with our hair, doing that. Okay, but what about your character, mama? How are you thinking? How are you? What do I want from you to pass on to the next generation? What thought processes do you have that make that man say, you know what? That's okay. I like that. She thinking outside of, okay. Yeah, I like the way this woman think. I like what's going on between her ears. Now, an unwise man doesn't care about that. An unwise man says, I don't care how you think. I don't care if you have a coherent thought in your mind as long as you look good. That's an unwise man. That's a man building his house on faulty sand. Okay? A man that's smart, a man that's wise is going to want a woman with a head on her shoulders. You're going to want a strong woman. You're not going to want a woman that's just there. Okay? So again, we're teaching women, society is not teaching women to be wives. That's my biggest thing. Number one and number two, play into each other. Trad wife, this, that, no. Helpmate versus boss babe. That's what we see. We need to be talking more about being a helpmate, and we need to be encouraging helpmate behavior versus take care of me or I take care of everything in whatever. Right? It's so many different extremes. It's so confusing. Women today don't know what to be. They just want to be attractive. That's it. We just want to be good looking. And I'm sorry, that's unwise. We're working so hard to be fine. What else? I'm not mad about being fine. I work very hard to be fine. I work out 6 days a week. I watch what I eat. I cook my meals. I do my thing. Yes, I work hard to be fine. But what else? Are we reading books? Are we building our spiritual life? What else are we doing? What else are we providing? What else are we bringing to the table? All right. So number 3, a good wife covers. And what we see in today's society is that we don't have women that cover well. No. They're not covering a man. They throwing a man under the bus as soon as they get a microphone. This is a lesson that I will one day hopefully teach as a wife, because I'm going to teach it as a wife. I've done it as a wife. I'm going to teach it as a wife. You cover your man. I don't care what he's saying. I don't care what he's doing. That's your man. You better stick beside him. You're not the one throwing him under the bus to make you look good. To make you, I really wanted to do this and that and the third. That's for your ego. You said that for you. You didn't say that thinking about the household. You thinking about you. That's playing into number 4, what I'm going to say next. But number 3, good wives cover. We cover our man. What does that mean? If I'm mad at my man and we on the way to this party, this get together, let's say he's taking me to an event, and I'm mad at him, we going back and forth. I'm like, that, and he's saying that back. When I go into that party, it don't matter. The energy's off of me. We can fight it. When we get back home, we can fight. We can fight that out when we can fight that out when we get home. But as long as we are in this environment, ain't nobody gonna know what's going on with me, my husband. I did it on the other side of marriage. I'm not gonna sit here and talk about what happened between me and my ex. That's nobody's business. That's between me and the Lord. Somebody said, if your man gets in a fight, will you jump in? Yeah, probably. I've done it before. Listen, me and him, that's my man. You know what I'm saying? That's my man. So, look, if it's my man, then yeah. If he got a problem, I got a problem. We both got a problem. Even if I think he wrong, as a unit, we got a problem. I might go home and say, you tripping right now, right? Because I'm going to tell you the truth. But in public, we a unit. If you don't like him, I don't like him either. I might go home and be like, babe, I like them. But if that's that's my man. Y'all be out here just letting your man out, leaving him out to dry. That's your man. That's who I'm sleeping with at night. That's who I'm having children with. So if you got a problem, we got a problem. You don't like him, I don't like him. We can talk about it later. We can pray about it. But we cover. As women, we cover. We support. We provide balance. That's what the Hebrew word means. And right now we're so in competition with each other. We're so out of alignment that we're not playing on the same team. Not even with the content that we put out to the universe are we on the same team. We're against each other. How are we supposed to build beautiful families? How are we supposed to really take it to the next level in the next generation when we are not in alignment? We're out of alignment. We're out of order. I'm just saying, somebody say you a cool chick. No, I mean, I don't know. That's where I'm from. Where I'm from. Look, I know I'm moving somewhere else. So they're gonna be like, who is this mixed girl that came out of nowhere? It's me. Sam. Okay, but anyway, no, but for real. My man got a problem, we got a problem. And the reality, I was talking to somebody today. I was talking to my daddy. My dad knows how I am. And so I was talking to my dad, and I said to my dad, just talking about different things. And he was like, they were talking about, women and friends. And I was like, listen, just like the blood still work, my hands still work. Mess with my man, watch what happens. Okay, I don't play with that. I do that with my brothers, and I do that with my trust and believe I'll do that for my man. Sam don't play that. I might listen, even if I'm gonna lose the fight, I'm a fight. For my family, for my man. It is what it is. I'm from New Jersey. That's what we do. I don't fight like that no more. I'm not like that, but for my family, I will fight. All right. And you know what, ladies? Men like that. I haven't met a man that doesn't like my little rough edgedness. It's one of those things. But anyway, it's besides the point. Whole point is a good wife covers. And what I see a lot today is that women don't cover. They're not covering their men. They're hanging them out to dry. One band, one sound. Exactly. I'm not going to make my man look bad. I'm not going to make our family look bad. I'm not going to do that. When we go into a room, I don't care if you wrong. I don't care what you got going on. We can talk about that later. But as far as when we walk about this house, we're a unit. I'm not going to make him look bad. And that's something that I see in today's society. We're doing subliminal messaging. We're doing all these things. How does that benefit the household? How does that bring glory to God? Family, this marriage thing is not just about me gratifying my flesh. And it's not about me getting what I want. I have had to learn that in this time. God has shown me marriage is about a union that does something for the kingdom. It's not about me, and it's not about the man. It's about what it's bringing glory to. We're not out here just out here. We're out here to bring glory to a kingdom, whether it's the godly kingdom or worldly kingdom. We're bringing glory. We're bringing honor to a kingdom. I am not going to shame my God by representing my man wrong. That's how serious I take it. That's how serious I learned that it is. When I don't represent my family well, I'm not representing my God well. When I'm not walking in alignment, I'm not representing my God well. Because this isn't about me getting glory. It's about God getting the glory. So the same thing when I get married, I know when I'm married again, it's the same thing. It's not about me getting the glory. It's about my family because of what God is doing. I'm representing my husband and my family well because of my God. My commitment is to my God. It's not, we make it about a person. Covenant is about you and God. And that's what I've learned. I didn't know that, right? I didn't take it as seriously as I should. I wasn't taught that. Let's go back to number one. I was taught to get my career. Forget a man. Get your career because men do this, that, and the third. And that's not necessarily wrong. We've had, men in the past have absolutely done wrong by women, right? It's undeniable. We've seen a lot of men do wrong, right? But I think that making that less serious, making that situation less serious. Not talking about the importance of marriage. We've given ourselves an out. As soon as this doesn't make me happy. I actually had a conversation with a woman yesterday. I mean, years and years, they're older than me. And they're like, well, once the marriage doesn't make me happy anymore, it's not about your happiness. When did God say that this is about making you happy? It's not about your happiness. It's about kingdom. I've always been taught when you're not happy, you leave. Oh, well, no wonder why the divorce rate's up. Because inevitably somebody's going to make you upset. Inevitably somebody's going to disappoint you. That makes it easy just to leave a relationship when the caveat is happy. Happy is a temporary emotion. I can wake up happy and go to sleep stressed. I could be happy at 8 o'clock. I could be unhappy at 10, depending on the message I get. It's not about you being happy. It's not about what makes me smile on the inside. It's about covenant. It's about promise. Right? And I think what we've been taught is we need to have these things in place so that we can walk away from relationship easier. And I'm not saying that that's wrong. I think you should have your career. I think you should have your degree, but not because you can walk away from a marriage. I would hope that it would build and utilize your discernment so that you can choose better men. That has not happened. Women are not choosing better men. Women are getting red flags on every play, and they still choose that man to be in a relationship. Utilize the wisdom that you are attaining to choose better, or utilize the wisdom that you're attaining to let God choose for you, because that's the ultimate wisdom. But we don't do that. We just settle, and then we wonder why the divorce rate's up. Because we settle in something just because we want it in the moment, but we're not seeking God about whether this is going to be something for long term. We still think that we're the best drivers of our life, and we're not. God is. So like I said, number one, I'm still on the helpmate, how we represent ourselves, the career-driven situation. I know number two, we talked about how we present ourselves, what we're taught, like what we're being outside of what we're being taught, what we're thinking that it's all about our appearance. We're thinking about it's all about what we look like. The soft girl lie or soft life lie, whatever that is. It's a lie. It's not true. God didn't call us to soft life. God called us to helper, helpmate. That's what he called us to. Number three, like I said, a good wife covers. We're not covering our men. We throwing them out to dry. Men aren't covering their women either. Men throwing their women under the bus. That's not what men were called to do. Men are not supposed to be here on the internet airing out their dirty laundry. That's not what God's intention for men is. That's not what God's intention for women. That is not godly. That is worldly. That's why we're so broken. Because we're doing things and we're being influenced by culture. This is not to keep us together, family. It's to create separation. That is the whole point. That is what the enemy is doing. He is doing a great job of creating separation. All right. Okay, so we talked about that. Number four reason why I think men are not committing to women today is, again, social media. Social media, it's a benefit and a curse. You get to see people and get to know people that you would never know exist, right? You would never know exist because if we didn't have social media, you wouldn't know I exist. I wouldn't know you exist. We wouldn't know. But because now we have social media, we're very much aware of options and therefore the false appearance of options. I was talking to somebody today and I was saying that options isn't a sign that God is saying this ain't the road. Options appear because you're either being tested or tempted. Your bottom line. God tells you this is your wife, and you decide to move in that direction, and then this good-looking woman shows up out of nowhere. That's not happenstance. That's a test. That's not a sign you made a wrong decision. That's a sign you made the right decision, but the enemy is right there, waiting to test your resolve about what God told you. Options, in the appearance of options, is to test or tempt. And because of social media, we have women that are competing with each other, more aware of what's out there than ever. And so we don't only have men that are struggling with the appearance of options, we have women struggling with the appearance of options and being more driven to be attracted to the whole versus to the one. What do I mean by that? A lot of women are more concerned about being attractive to many people. They don't want to be attractive just to their man. They want to be attractive to everybody. And I get it. We want to be desired. Okay, women, that part of the curse on women is we desire to be desired. But now it's out of order because now we have women that they got a man, but they're worried about why other men don't think about them or what other men think about them, or they're posting like they're still trying to attract or advertise for other men and arguing with their man about what they're posting. Why can't I post this? I don't understand this. Why not? You are watching these other women that are girlfriends at best. They may not be nobody's wife, not for long. How they're conducting themselves, and you're saying that's what I want. No, you don't want that. That's out of order. That's why it don't work. When we're so worried about what other people, this random man in Alaska, whether he likes your video or not, or whether some dude at the gas station thinks you're attractive or not. Now we're making our man feel like he's not enough because we haven't dealt with our own insecurities. We're so busy trying to look attractive to the overarching whole. And that's because we don't feel good enough within ourselves. We're too dependent on other people to make us feel good about ourselves. And that's an insecurity issue. And that's another big problem with today's generation. We're incredibly insecure. And because we're incredibly insecure, we're doing all these things to get attention, not intention. And now men are looking at us like, man, they're thirsty. You out here posting yourself twerking with a bikini on to try to get attention from a man to get a like or a follow. That doesn't look like wife behavior. Then we mad at a man because he's sexualizing or objectifying us when you put yourself in that position by what you're posting. You out here posting or showing yourself in different locations, you traveling more than the Harlem Globetrotters, and people trying to understand, what do you do that you're traveling this much? We know you ain't working that type of job that you traveling so much, but you're just allowing yourself to be, I want to be flown out here. I'm seeing this lifestyle. This lifestyle is not attractive to men who are looking for a wife. That lifestyle is attractive to a man who wants you for a night at best or a weekend at best. Let's go to St. Bart's for the weekend and then come back and I don't want to hear from you again. That's not the type. When you have to understand, when you're playing a wife game, you're playing the long game. What does that mean? It'll feel like you're losing before you're winning. It'll feel like you're losing before you're winning. Meaning that men that see you as a wife, they're not going to come at you when they're not ready to be a husband. At least in their own perception of what it means to be a husband. They're going to wait and be strategic. Like, if I'm going to shoot this shot, I'm going to shoot this shot when I'm ready to shoot the shot. So you're going to see men dabble and run around, and then they marry some girl that you ain't even, like, they marry some girl in 6 months that you didn't even see coming. Why? Because women make it about, oh, if I'm there, men, it's about mentality. If a man is ready to settle down, he gonna marry the woman that is the best option at the time he's ready. Men are not marrying because, oh, the woman's so good. He's marrying because he is ready and she's the best option at the time he's ready. If we get more discipline in our world, men would settle down faster, better. It is better for a man to settle down. It is not better for a man to run amok and sleep with a bunch of different women. That is not good for him. That is not good for society. That is not good for kingdom. It's not good for anybody. You just got a bunch of soul ties. And now, I mean, you leaving your soul open for the enemy on a whole other level. We've seen what lust does to men. It destroys you. So our society running off of lust is not good for men and it's not good for women. But when we're providing the fodder of lust and we're trying to compete with women that aren't going to be wiped up anyway. I mean, they're just not. They're going to be, they might go on a couple dates. They may talk. They may have a couple experiences, roller coaster rides. And we back at the market. I literally have known men, they got their eye on one woman. Because men, God bless them, but they normally got their real eye, the one eye, they're on one woman. There's a woman that they, right now, if I'm ready to settle down, I'm going after her. They're not going to touch that woman until she's ready. They could literally be talking to a woman in their house. There could be a woman in their house right now. They have no intentions at all of actually being with her. Their mind, their eye is still on that one girl that shook their little atmosphere. And they like, look, when I'm ready, I'm going for her. There could be a woman in their face trying to formulate a sentence in the present moment. But they still in the back of their mind, they like, there's that one woman that I had to let go, but I'm coming back for her. She available? Oh, it's on. She's single. I'm ready. Oh, it's on. It's game time, baby. I'm going full throttle with her. I'm not ready yet. I'm gonna still deal with this woman. And what happens is we're competing with the woman that's a temporary placeholder. Do I agree with men having placeholders? No. But they have you're competing with a placeholder. You're not competing with the wife. You're competing with the placeholder. You don't even know who the wife is until he's ready. And again, it's the long game that we are not willing to play. We're competing for short-term benefits when you want a long-term situation. I don't want to be a short-term benefit. I don't want to be in the meantime, in between time. And I honestly haven't really met a lot of men that want to do in the meantime, in between time with me. I don't give in the meantime, in between time energy. I just don't. And I'm okay. I've become okay. And ladies, hear me clearly. I've become okay with, okay, if you're not ready, it's cool. Move on. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to try to hold you in my atmosphere. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you figure it out. I'm okay with that. That takes security to say, I'm not going to fit into your puzzle. I'm going to stay where I'm at. I'm going to stay in my puzzle. And then when you're ready to be a part of my puzzle and you want to connect with me, you know where to find me. I'm going to let a man figure it out. I have enough security in myself that if you're my person and I'm your person, we going to find each other again. But we don't live by that anymore. We're impatient. We're impatient. We're trying to compete. And we're competing in the wrong arena. That's the problem. We're competing with career women, boss babes. We were competing with women that focus so much on being pretty and soft life and this, that, and the third. Where do you see those women now? It looks good for a season, and then they on to the next one. And then they're being discarded and then on to another relationship. What are we competing for? Good wives cover, like I said before. Throwing a man under the bus or making your man look bad. I don't know where that comes from, but that's not godly. Soft girl lie, that's a lie. Soft girl life is a lie. That's not godly. We're to be a helpmate, a helper, suitable for him. Right? And so I think I've said 5 already. But I really believe, ladies, one of the biggest issues that I really want to be very clear about, the biggest problem that I see is that we've been deceived. It's not necessarily your fault or my fault. We've been taught to be career women. You know, we're seeing the media. We're feeling like we're missing out. We're feeling like we want to have the career. We want to have the success. And then if we do have the career and we do have the success, then we want to have the man and this life. And we're now like, we're so aware of what everybody else is doing. And we don't even think about the fact that this is only what it looks like on social media. This is not real life. People can look great on the gram, but it's not real. It's not real life. We see relationships all the time. They look amazing. Then you find out the behind the scenes of the relationship, and it's absolute mayhem that was going on behind the scenes. They took great pictures, but in reality, it was a hot mess. What are we competing with? We are out of order. It's not less than to be somebody's helpmate. It's not less than to be building a legacy with the person that God has put in your life. And a helpmate can be a lot of different things in a lot of different ways. But our legacy, what God has placed us on our planet to do, our family is our first ministry. And we've lost sight of that because the world is trying to get your career, get your coins, sis, get this. And that's like, I'm probably going to end on this one, even though, I already given you 5. Ladies, the fixation on money is crazy right now. The fixation on, I want a bag, what we're rapping about, sexualizing ourselves the way that we do, always rapping these songs about, I don't care about a man, sneaky link. I like to sleep around. I'm singing songs about being promiscuous. I'm singing songs. I'm rapping. I'm living life. Like I only care about getting money. I only care about getting a bag. I only care about going to find at different locations, getting flued out. Like I like posting these things on the gram. Like this, what about that screams wife? What about that says, this is a woman I want to raise my family with? This does not speak to lineage and lifelong and legacy. This speaks to, I just need to get what I want to get from this woman and move on. And we are being influenced by this music, by what's being presented to us. And it's devastating. It's devastating. All we talk about, and it's so like dumb. We're over here, bigging up I want a bag. I want a bag. I want a bag. Oh, he got me a bag. Oh, he got me this bag. Oh, I got this kind of bag. Oh, this is the bag I got for my birthday. Oh, this is the kind of car he got me for. Like, what? What are we doing? Men don't want to approach us no more. Men don't want to be with us no more. Oh, well, of course. We making us look bad. Materialistic. Family, when we leave this planet, you think I care about whether I got a bag? When your life is on the line, you think I care about whether he got me the car or not? When we end this life, it's about the family we leave behind. I don't want to sleep in a bed with a bunch of bags while I'm dying on my last breath. We've gotten so materialistic. It's sick, bro. It's sick. I'm personally tired of the 50-50 conversation. I'm so daggone tired of that. I can't even speak. I'm like, bro, are we going, if you don't want to do 50-50, don't get with that man. What are we talking about? Family, the world is coming to an end and we having 50-50 conversations. What? How does that matter? Are we going to do 50-50 or not? Are we going to do 50-50 or not? I want a man to make 6 figures. Does that matter? Like in the grand scheme of things, does that, if you don't want that type of man, then don't be with that type of man. We cannot continue to talk about these superficial topics and when we see what's happening in the world today. What? Oh, he if he's not making 6 figures, if he's not doing this, then I don't want. Then okay, then be by yourself. Then don't. We are fixated on things that don't matter. It don't matter, bro. It really don't matter. You're making a guy come to you and apply to you. Who are you? There's women that are having these conversations. What are you? What do you bring to a man's life? Right now, if you're doing content and you talking about 50-50, you don't look like the type of woman that needs to be wiping nobody up or needs to be in any type of relationship. You need to be focusing on you. Because marriage is a partnership. It's not about you. That's the problem. It's not about you. It's selfish. There's going to be times when that man is below knee level and you need to pray him out of some things. You out here just thinking about you and what makes you look good. We're so worried about walking down the aisle and get a ring on our finger. For what? What does that matter? What does it matter at the end of the day? You walk down the aisle. If all it's about is the optic, all it's about is, oh, I'm somebody's wife. Are you, or did someone just put a ring on your finger? Being a wife and having a ring on your finger are two completely different things. We don't know how to cover. We're representing ourselves well. The wives that we do see on the internet are out here acting a fool, acting like single women with rings on. Let's keep it real. We're not seeing wives like we need to be seeing them. We're seeing single women that a man decided to put a ring on. Showing everything to the whole world. There ain't no secret about what's on their body and what's underneath them clothes. Is it conservative? Yeah, I got a conservative perspective on this. I do. We out here just, I want to look at me, 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 look at me. No, stop. You're out of order, bro. You're so out of order. You are out of order. You're out of order. That's the problem. It's not about look at me, look at me, look at me. The man shouldn't be look at me, look at me, look at me. It is us. We are a unit. When a man is too attention seeking and a woman is too attention seeking, they are not to be in relationships. They need to be by themselves. A relationship is about us. We are a unit. We are a team. When people are so consumed with self, they're not good partners. We're not good partners when we're consumed with self. We're selfish today. We want to be looked at. We want to be hypersexual yet taken seriously. How, Sway? How? How I'm going to take you seriously when you out here bearing your soul to the masses? And if a man decides to take you seriously after you say it's worth me bearing my body and getting money from it is worth it to me. Some of us are excusing the fact that we're showing ourselves in a certain way because we make money from it. I'm sorry, baby. Not every dollar is worth making. It's not. If your soul is the price tag, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Not all money is good money. Then you mad because a man not taking you seriously. Why would he? If he was my brother, I would tell him not to either. I'm not saying you're not a good person. You might be a great person. You might have all the wifely qualities. But character is what's going to keep a relationship together. And unfortunately, a lot of people are selfish. We're representing ourselves poorly when we have all this content about money, bags, money. If I hear another rap song about money, twerking, being on trips, having sneaky links, and being hypersexual, and that's the music you listen to, I'm going to assume that's your mentality. And if I'm a wise man, I'm not wifing that. I'm sorry. If I'm a man and I see you listen to certain rap songs and that's your favorite song, I'm going to be looking at you a little side eye like I'm not sure about this, because I know music has a spirit. Music is an altar. What you listen to a lot of times influences who you are, influences your behavior. You talking about sneaky link? You talking about this, that, and the third? I'm sorry. It's a no for. If a man was to ask me, I'd be like, no. We are not creating wives today. That's why a lot of men are not getting married. Let's keep it real. Let's just keep it a buck. Do men want to get married? I think men do want to get married. I think men do want to have families. And I think men do want to wake up and there's a woman in their house that they're attracted to, and it's a good wife. I believe that. I think most men want good, attractive wives. I believe that with all my being. I believe that. I believe that if men could find a woman, first of all, a good woman they attracted to, they would be settling. If a man could find a good woman, hear me clearly, that they respect, that is attractive, we wouldn't even be talking about this. We would not be talking about this. There's so many men that talk to me all the time. They're like, well, she's a good woman, but they feel like the women that are good women, that have good qualities, good character, that they're not going to be attracted to them. So they get with women that they're not attracted to. Or they're like, they feel like they got to settle to get a good woman. That's sad today. There's so many men that I'll meet and they'll be like, are you really like this, or this is a game? Because they assume that if they're attracted to you, you got to be dirt. You can't really have a good personality. You can't really be funny. You can't really coherently put a sentence together. You can't really be okay with not wearing makeup. You can't really be like this. You can't really love God like this. You can't really be No, let's change the game, ladies. Let's change the game. Why are men not committing? Why are men not committing? Let's stop playing the blame game. Oh, it's because men don't love me well. No, because you're broken, baby. You're broken. Your behavior is broken. Let's call it what it is. Let's stop playing these games. I believe And I believe this with all my being. I believe more men you would see in our Black and brown community would settle down if we had women that were representing themselves well as wives, that are taking care of themselves. They look good. Number one, we got to come with that. They look good, smart, intelligent, supportive, right? Down to earth, good personalities. Honestly, family, more natural. I'm sorry, it is the truth. Men want more natural. They want more natural looking women. I'm not saying you got to be 100% natural. I'm just saying they like natural looking women. They just do. Men, yes, they'll mess with a woman that is not natural looking, right? But men want to walk around they boys, and they boys are looking at her like, oh, she ain't got no makeup on. She look like that. Oh, golly, your kids. Because can I be real? Can we keep it real? Men are worried about what their kids gonna look like. They're like, what do you actually look like? Men care about genetics. It's a real thing. You look like you had too much makeup or too much done to your body. They're like, hold on, what do you really look like? Men care about the genetics. I don't know where we got the idea that they don't. They want a woman that looks more natural. We're making makeup popular for us because we're not in competition. We're not trying to get a man. We're in competition with each other. We're getting all the makeup in the nose and the cheeks and the lips. We're not in competition. This is not for a man. We're in competition with each other. That's just what it is. I want to thank this person for supporting me on the live. Thank you, 0328CTL. Thank you so much, y'all. I know I haven't been talking about, I went straight into it today. I got, this is a topic I feel very strong. But thank you, 328CT1 for supporting me on the live. I appreciate y'all for any of the support. Thank you guys for the support. And those on the Cash App, I haven't looked at the Cash App either. I apologize. My bad. But I'm on this, and I'm gonna stay on it until I dig into it. We need to change the game. And that's why yes, do I agree? Men should be more sexually disciplined. Absolutely. Men should be settling down. Absolutely. Men should not be running away from responsibility and finding loopholes to justify dysfunction. Absolutely. But we also have to address the elephant in the room. We are not being taught to be wives today. We're being taught to be, at best, girlfriends, and girlfriends for a max 2 years. We're not being taught how to really hold the label of being a wife. And I think a lot of men are wiping women up that aren't wives. I'll be honest with you. They're not wives. I'm gonna be very honest with you. God has given me a lot of revelation in this year, just about what my role should be, and a lot of breaking me from a lot of the brokenness and the broken behaviors I've had, right? And there's things that I was doing that I didn't even know I was doing. I didn't even know I was dishonoring God by how I was, like, what I would be doing, like thinking about how I wanted to be, and God preparing me for the right person in my life. God is showing me, like, there's areas of my life that I need to change. And some of those things were really harder to do. Somebody asked me on this live, she's like, do we have to be a wife? No, you don't. You don't have to be a wife at all. You don't want to be a wife, you don't have to be. I don't think everybody's called to be a wife. I'm not of that mind. Just like I don't think everybody's called to be a husband. I don't think there's anything wrong with, but there's women that want to be wives, and this is what that's for. But yeah, if you feel like you're not supposed to be, I actually appreciate that that's where you are. You know, just be honest with men when you meet them. Like, you don't want to be a wife. I'm cool. I mean, listen, I like it when somebody real with them, real. You know, keep it real. Got too many people putting on masks today, and they're not keeping it real. Yeah. So known unknown. Very good point. It's saying the Apostle Paul even states, "I wish you were not to marry, but in order to fight fornication, get married." He does say that because the Apostle Paul was single, and he said it would be easier to accomplish the mission of the Bible by being single. He said you wouldn't have the distraction of a wife. You would just be able to really focus on spreading the gospel. But he said if you need to lay down with a woman, if you absolutely need to sleep with a woman, get married. That's what he said. Because it would be, he spoke strongly against fornication. Strongly. But he also said that, you know, listen, it's cool to not, it's cool to just be yourself. Do you? Yeah, somebody said better to marry than to burn. That's right. So I know this is not a popular message, and again, I'm not assuming that, you know, people understand. I think that people, you know, I have more of a conservative perspective. I must have missed something else here. Sorry. Somebody said, Mark, you said missed last week's out sick. I want to say thank you for tonight. Hope your move goes smooth and safe. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. But again, I'm saying that, like, if you don't desire marriage, good for you. You know, I desire marriage. I desire to do it God's way. And I'm speaking about the things God has spoken to me about, and the things that in this time of him revealing things to me, I'm seeing how the enemy is working to continue to create separation between men and women. And so I've spoken about men. I'm going to speak about women. It's only right. I'm not going to speak about one and not the other. But I've just seen, I have a more of a heart for women. And so I'm seeing what I'm seeing and understanding what men are saying on the other side. Yes, this is more of a conservative perspective. And I acknowledge that. But I really desire, there's a lot of power in marriage. There's a lot of power in us coming together and creating legacy, not only for ourselves, but for kingdom. And there was a time in my life I didn't want to get married because all I had seen in my own personal life was not positive of marriage. But I see now that if you do it God's way, how beautiful it is and it can be. And I don't think even in the Christian world, we're seeing great examples of marriage. There's some great examples. I'm not saying that there isn't, but there's some that just aren't, especially mainstream. I want us to see, not want us to see, I want there not only to be a revival of the church, but in our community, a revival of the family unit. Because I do believe that the biggest attack that I see is on the family unit. And a lot of the rhetoric that men are buying, a lot of the rhetoric that women are buying is destroying the family unit. It's causing division. It's causing discord. It's causing unnecessary arguments. It's causing these things. When we're selfish, when we're self-promoting, when we're fixated on our own agenda, how can you possibly be a good partner? Marriage is you have to be equally as committed and seeing the other side. And so that's my point here. I went last week, I talked about men. This week, I'm talking about women. The goal here is to expose so we can change. Because I've done a lot of changing in this year. And I see where God has been dealing with me personally. And I'm going to continue to be faithful to that. You can like it, love it, hate it. It's cool. But I believe that there's going to be a revival. God is doing it in this season. There's not only a revival of the church, it's going to be a revival of marriage. And we have to talk about what we're seeing that isn't right. We can't sit here and continue to say, yeah, you can be a wife and you can post like that. That's cool. You can say you're a Christian wife and this is how you conduct yourself in a marriage. No, it's not cool. Because now you're influencing other women that are saying they're Christian wives and representing themselves in a way that's not godly. Sorry. We have to do things differently. We have to do things. Otherwise, we're going to do the same thing and get the same result, which is brokenness. God is doing a new thing. Do we not perceive it? Okay. All right, family. I know this wasn't a popular whatever. I know, like, I get it. I may not be the nicest, prettiest live of what I'm saying. You may not like what I'm saying. I get that. It's conservative. I'm a Christian woman. I believe in the Bible. And I believe that in this last year, God has really he's done a major work in my life. He's done a lot of changing, i.e. I just got baptized a couple months ago, again, rebaptized. I just have a renewed sense of what God is doing in my life and my purpose. And with that being said, there's a lot of convictions I've had, and there's a lot of convictions I'm sharing, not only about what it means to be a woman, but what it means to be an example, what it means to be a wife. And with that being said, I need to share these things, not just to hurt women. I'm not trying to condemn anybody. I believe that there's redemption. I believe that anybody can be redeemed. I think salvation is for everybody. And so I'm not saying that, but I am saying that in order for us to do things differently, we have to expose truth. We just do, and I was deceived. There's been a lot of deception in my own life. I've deceived myself. I've been taught a certain way. And I feel like God has put it on me to not only change, but to share what I'm changing and why. Because I'm responsible. I'm responsible for what I put out. I'm responsible for how I conduct myself. And if I say I'm a Christian woman, I need to come across that way. And I've had more and more conviction about what that looks like over time. But there's a lot of ways I was taught. There's a lot of ways I was taught that are not conducive to who God is calling me to be in this next season of my life. So anyway, I love y'all, and I'm going to jump off. Thank you guys for tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it was a long live. I'm passionate about the subject. But again, it is what it is. All right. All right, family. I love y'all so much. I will see you guys next week. Same time, same place, Wednesday night. And I will see you guys soon. Love you guys. Bye-bye. Ending the TikTok. And I want to say again, thank you to the people on my U of Tube. Thank you guys for those who continue to show up in the Cash Apps, the ones that continue to sow on the lives. You guys are incredible. I love y'all so much. You guys are literally so dope, because you don't have to support anything that I do, but you still do. I know that the journey that I'm on right now is I'm not mincing words. I'm not going this way, that way. I've got to continue down this path God has called me to. And it may not be beautiful, it may not be pretty, it may not be what people want to hear. But hey, God gave me this platform and I'm going to be responsible. So anyway, family, I love y'all very much. And I will talk to you guys soon. Have a good night. Bye-bye.